Good day everybody, my name is Michiel Eggens and I am from Continia Software. I would like to thank Elite Dynamics for having us in this collaborative event. Today I will be showing you our solution Document Capture. Document Capture is our solution for scanning, registering and archiving invoices and credit notes. Today I will show you how our software works and I will be showing you that in PC 14, the web client, but our software works from NAV 3.7 up to the latest version of Business Central. I'd say let's get started. So as you can see, I have opened Business Central and this is where the finance team can select a role center. Here on the left side you can see documents. This is where you can see how many invoices came in, and invoices can come in two different ways. Via the post, documents received by post must be scanned and can be sent from the scanner directly into your Business Central. Or the second method is via email. Vendors can send invoices to a special email address for invoicing at Continia.com for instance. Document Capture monitors this email address and downloads the invoices straight into Business Central for you. If you have multiple companies in your database, then Document Capture will be able to automatically distribute the invoices for you to the different companies based on the text that is on the invoice. For example, if it sees company London on the invoice, it will move the invoice to company number 1. And if it sees company Amsterdam, as an example, it will move to company number 2. We can process PDF or XML files. So should you receive a Word or an Excel file, then you need to manually convert these files to a PDF before it gets picked up by our software. No handwritten text, but I know that none of the OCR companies can do this well. So that's the information here on the left side. In the middle and on the right hand side you can see purchase approval. With Document Capture we can of course approve invoices and credit notes. But later on in this demo, I will get back to this process. I first want to show you how do we actually process these invoices. Well, just before this demo, I've emailed some invoices to my demo email address, as you can see over here. When I press the button Import Files, the OCR scanner starts scanning the text that is on the files and allows us to process the text that is on the files. We can of course automate this importing files for you if you prefer. Invoices will then come in throughout the day, but in my demo we choose to manually do this because we want to show you how it works. Once the invoices have been imported, they come into the document journal, and the document journal is the place where the accounts payable team will process these invoices from now on. On the right hand side here you will see the original invoice from now on, so you can zoom in and zoom out, and if it has multiple pages you can scroll through multiple pages over here. On the top left here you have your to-do list, the invoices that need to be processed. In the middle there will be a template, and down below you'll find the comments. So how does Document Capture work? Well, we are going to create a template per vendor, and in this template you are going to tell the system how do you want these invoices for these vendors to be processed. We can basically process any type of invoice that you have. We can process cost invoices, we can capture multiple lines of an invoice, we can match against purchase orders, we can handle multiple VAT amounts, different currencies, freight charges, discounts. Whatever they throw at you, we can capture. In this demo, however, I would like to show you 3 types of invoices. I will start with a very simple cost invoice. After that, I will show you an invoice that we are going to match against a purchase order. And then I will be going to show you how we can capture multiple lines on an invoice. So important to know, you set up a template once per vendor, and after that the invoices will enter the system automatically. Before I'm going to create the template, on the top left here you can see that Document Capture recognized the vendors. How did it do that? When I pressed import files, it started to scan the document and it found the VAT number. And with this VAT number, it found and it made a match on the vendor card, in this case with Lewis Home Furniture. If there is no VAT number on the invoice, the system will look for a company name or an address, a postal code or a contact person, or here a bank account number, all to get the correct vendor for you. Worst case scenario and Document Capture didn't find the vendor, then it's nice that we are fully integrated into your system. We can easily open up the vendor list over here and select the correct vendor manually. Alright, now I'm going to press Recognize Fields and start creating the first template. The system will think for a second and then we see a couple of things happening. On the right hand side here on the invoice, we can see orange and blue bars appearing. In the middle you'll see a template, and down below you'll find the comments. Let me start off here in the middle, in the column field. This is where the master template lies that you get with Document Capture. This master template contains the most common fields that can be found on an invoice, like invoice number, invoice date, due date, contact, order number, amounts. However, you can fully adjust this template to your liking without the help of Elite, Continia or a developer. Because we are fully integrated into your ERP system, we have access to all your tables and fields, and we can either extract data from there or put data in there. In the second column over here, value, you can see that Document Capture will try to fill in as much information as it can for you. However, the first time you need to check the system because sometimes it will make a mistake. If I select the invoice number, you can see that it gets highlighted here on the right hand side of the screen. Document Capture will always highlight where it found the value for you. In this case we have of course a very nice demo invoice, but should you receive an invoice with a lot of small characters or a lot of lines or pages, then this function comes in really handy, of course. You will then see an orange and blue bar within the highlighted area. The orange bar is the header and the blue bar is the value that Document Capture found for you. And that's the way Document Capture tries to fill in all the fields for you. It doesn't work with coordinates, but will really search for these words on the invoice. It also found the invoice date, and it found a due date and a contact person. There's no order number in this first example. The currency code in this case has been left blank because it's the local currency within Business Central. Do you receive an invoice in another currency, then it will be shown over here. We have all the amounts, and it does validate all the amounts. So it will really look, is this amount 25% of the amount ex VAT, and is the amount including VAT, these two combined. Like I said before, we can handle multiple VAT amounts, or is it a vendor with no VAT? It will not look for it because under the hood it will look for the vendor posting groups. Because this is a cost invoice, the system will ask for a general ledger account. You can see the warning here in the bottom. What we can do, we can open the GL account list from here, and then you can scroll through it. Or if you know the GL number, which I do in this case, you can type it in over here and then select the correct GL account number. I press OK, and then the system will ask, do you want to set this as a default account for this vendor? If I press no, I will have to fill it in the next time again. If I press yes, which I will be doing today, it will remember it for the next invoice. And then you can see the warning in the bottom disappear. The posting description, I can type something manually in over here, or I can combine fields from the template. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to capture my first value of the invoice. So with my right hand mouse button, I drag an orange bar as a header or an anchor point around project. And with my left hand mouse button, I drag the value around the description. Now you can see the text has been captured. You don't have to press any save button. Document Capture now knows how to capture the posting description for Lewis Home Furniture. The last field, invoice or credit memo. Document Capture will automatically recognize if it is an invoice or a credit memo, and double invoices will be blocked here. They will not go into your system. So now I'm finished setting up the first template. As you can see, I can do this within, well, let's say 30 seconds. And after a couple days of training from Elite Dynamics, you will be able to do this as well. It's really simple. So I can register this document. And yep, there it is. This is the invoice screen. And we also added the original invoice here on the right hand side. And as you can see, all the information that has been captured. And I can send it for approval from here. I will later tell you how you can set up the different approval flows, of course. All right, let's move on to the next invoice. This was a very simple cost invoice, but we can do more, of course. With Document Capture, we can also match purchase orders with the purchase invoice, and we can do that in 3 different ways. We can match on a total amount level. Then Document Capture will check the order and the goods for, let's say, £1,000. Is the invoice £1,000? Then it will match and it will go through. The only downside of this is that you do not know if you ordered, well, let's say a Lenovo laptop or a Dell laptop. And that's why we have developed method number 2. There we can match on a line item level. Then we can really check, did we receive 250 mountings for £12.50? Did we receive 15 top panels for £77 and 50 wooden doors for £53.50. So this will make your match very accurate. This also allows us to do partial matching. We can set up tolerances per supplier, or we can skip the approval if there is a 100% match. We can also do manual matching. That's the third method. Why do you want to do manual matching? Well, sometimes vendors forget to put up order numbers, and well, then you have to help the system a little bit with the correct order number, and then afterwards the matching will go automatically again. Let me show you how. I'm going to press Recognize Fields again, and I know that Document Capture has captured everything correct over here. It has also captured the order number over here, as you can see here. So if I now go to the button Match Lines, you will get the matching screen that you get with Document Capture. Again, it will show you the original invoice on the right hand side. And it will show you all the order lines of Coolwood Technologies in this case. So basically all the orders that have not been received yet from this vendor. And if I press filter order number, then it will only show you the order that we are going to match today. It has all the lines, as you can see over here, and it has the amounts that we need to match. So if I then press Perform Match, you'll see it matched 100%. And of course, this has to look good in this demo. However, in real life, this will not always happen. So we can check the difference over here. And also the line where the difference is will not be made bold. Freight charges can be matched separately, because a lot of times you do not know if they will charge you well, £462.50 or £470 for instance. And like I said before, we can do partial matching. We can also skip the approval if the match is 100%, and we can set up tolerances per supplier. And yeah, what the system also will do, and then I will have to go a screen back, it will always tell you, it will always give you clear comments on what it does. In this case, you can see it has been fully matched with the purchase receipt, but it will also show you if it hasn't matched, or if the tolerances for the supplier has been exceeded. It will give clear messages to the accounts payable team on what it did. Now, I can also register this invoice, and then I will be sending it for approval like I did with the other. Yeah, the last type of invoice that I want to show you today is an invoice with multiple lines. Document Capture is very good in capturing lines, and it doesn't matter if it are 3 lines, like in this example, as you can see over here, or 50 lines or 100. It will just continue until it doesn't find any more lines. Let me show you how. I'm going to press Recognize Fields again, and this is where I know that Document Capture has made a mistake. As you can see over here, it has captured the invoice date instead of the invoice number. How do we correct this? With my right hand mouse button, I drag an orange bar around the word invoice as a header, and I will correct the value with my left hand mouse button. Alright, you don't have to press any save button. Document Capture now knows how to capture the invoice number for Electronics Limited. The rest of the fields are okay, I know, and this is where we go to the document card, and the document card is where we are going to capture the lines. So again, on the right hand side you will see the original invoice. On the left hand side here we have a tab with lines with a lot of columns: number, description, quantity, unit cost, etc. And this is where I'm going to capture the lines. I will set my mouse over here, and I will select with my right hand mouse button, I will drag as an anchor point a bar around the word item. I will do the same for the description. I will do this as well for the quantity, for the unit cost, and there is no discount on this invoice, so we don't need to capture these, but there is a line amount over here, and this is really nice. Now I'm going to press Recognize Fields, and it will capture every line on the invoice that it can find. Again, if it were 50 lines or 500, it would have captured 50 or 500 lines. And as you can see, this is going to save the accounts payable team a lot of work typing in all these different lines. Well, assuming there's no purchase order against this invoice, we can now code it the way we want it. We can say the iPad goes to GL account A and the mouse goes to GL account B. We can translate this also into an item number or a resource or a fixed asset or an item charge. Well, let's say the iPad goes to general ledger account 80330, and the mouse gets an item number 1000 for instance, and this will get fixed asset. I'm just playing around a little bit, but just to show you what's possible in the system. We can also add dimensions here per line. We can again basically fully code this to your liking. And of course, Document Capture will remember this for you, so you do not have to fill it in every time. I can now register this invoice, and it gets to be a registered invoice within Business Central. As you can see, captured all this information over here, and again we can send this for approval. Well, this is what I wanted to show you about template making. Template making is not difficult, as you can see, but it's one of the most important parts of document capture though. The nice thing is that you can do this in your test environment and export it to your live environment. And if you have multiple companies in your database, then document capture will automatically copy the templates around the different companies for you. So now we can move on to the approval process. And the approval process can happen in two different ways. It can happen within NAV or Business Central itself, or within our optional web approval portals. What's the difference between these two? Well, functionality-wise they are both the same, but with the web approval portal you will be able to approve on your mobile device, so on your iPad or your phone. How can we approve? We can approve in three different ways, based on an approver and a limit. As an example, I can approve up to £500. If it's below the £500, the invoice will go to me for approval only. If it exceeds the £500, it will first go to me and then it will go to my supervisor. My supervisor can approve up to £5,000, for example, and if it exceeds the supervisor's limit as well, then it will go to the manager, and the manager can approve up to £10,000, etc. of course. It will continue based on the hierarchy you will set up. We can also set up fixed approvers per vendor. Then vendor number 1 will be approved by myself only, and vendor number 2 by myself and my supervisor, for example. The third method is approval based on dimensions. Invoices for cost center A will only need approval by me, and invoices for cost center B will need approval from both me and my supervisor. Approvers will receive a notification email that they have something to approve. They will click on the link in the email, and then either the web approval portal or NAV or Business Central will open. Notification emails can be set up as well, and you can set them up to whatever is relevant for your organization. 1 email per invoice, or maybe 1 email per day or per 3 days. You can also set reminder emails. At Continia, for instance, we say we want to approve invoices and credit notes within 5 days, and then we send the first reminder 2 days after the first notification email, and a second reminder after that with the CC to the approver supervisor, as an example. Approvers will get an overview of the invoices that they have to approve. I will open the web approval portal now. Here you can see the overview. Before I approve, I can look up in the archive what did I approve last week. On the top right here, you can switch between multiple companies if you have them, and if you are on holiday, you can set your out of office right here. And of course, because sometimes people forget to set their out of office, of course the accounts payable team can also activate this for you. Well, let me open up the first invoice. Again, you will see the original invoice on the right hand side if you have a second. Yes. You can enlarge it, or you can either download it here and send it to somebody. Excuse me. I can add comments over here. I can say this is okay, for instance. And here you will find some information from the invoice and the flow that it will take through your organization. And this is important. You will determine per approver what they can and what they cannot change in the lines. We can, for example, say that Richard Lum, in this case, cannot make changes to the item number. This error message will appear. But Richard Lum can make changes in the GL account. And in this case, it has been set up that he only can choose GL accounts within the 8,000 range. So you can narrow it down. And you can also do this with fixed assets, dimensions, and cost centers, whatever you prefer. On the top left here, you can approve, or you can reject the invoice with a comment, otherwise the AP team doesn't know what's going on. You can forward the invoice in multiple ways. You can approve and forward without approval, or forward and return to me for approval. You can put the invoice on hold if there is a query. Maybe you are awaiting a credit note. You can put it in the comments. And the nice thing is that the AP team always has a full overview of where the invoices are within the system. They can see if the invoice is put on hold and by who, and also with a reason in the comments. So should they receive a question from a vendor, they can easily check where the invoice is and immediately answer the question of the vendor. I'll approve this invoice, and then the next invoice will appear. I will also approve these. I will approve all invoices, and then my to-do list is empty and I don't have any further invoices to approve. In Business Central, it is the same. I press approval entries, and here you will find the overview. Again, the invoice on the right hand side, and all the buttons here from approve to set up your out of office. I will also approve these invoices, and after approval, invoices come into the final stage, the release bin. And released invoices can be posted either one by one, or in a batch, or in a job queue, so it's so basically automatically. I will post these in a batch for now, and then after the posting process, document capture will basically stop, and your normal process will continue again. I assume that for the most of you, it will go to the banking module, and the invoice will get paid once the due date is there. Now we've done the whole process. Maybe a quick recap. Your invoices will come in via email. Document Capture downloads them straight into your system, where they are imported automatically. Then Document Capture will put a template over them that you've created. It will check all the tick boxes that you've created, and then it will be sent to the approver automatically. The approver receives an email that they have something to approve, and as soon as the invoice has been approved, it will come back to you in the release bin. And released invoices can be posted, or you can even automate it. Then the final part of this demo. How do we find documents back in the system? We can do it in multiple ways. We can do it either via document search. Basically every word on the invoice that is scanned. So the whole invoice is fully text searchable. What did we do? We bought an iPad, so I type in iPad over here, and it will show all the invoices with the word iPad on it. I can show the file, open it from here, and there you have the invoice. Or you can open the document card and see what has been done with this invoice. That's not the only way we can find invoices back. Because we are fully integrated into NAV or Business Central, we can find invoices back anywhere it touches something, like the supplier card, for instance, or the posted documents, VAT entries, or also from the GL account, for example. I type in here the chart of accounts, click on it, and then I will search for the GL account number 8330, I remember. I will type in balance, and we'll scroll down. There you will have the invoices. I will press navigate, and this is where we have added a line with the document capture file over here. I press the one behind it, and I can open the original invoice from here as well. So you can actually find the invoice all throughout Business Central. Yes, this is what I wanted to show you about Document Capture today. Document Capture was created in 2013, and since then it became one of our biggest add-ons for NAV and Business Central. Over 9,000 customers use this software worldwide. And yeah, I was very pleased that I could show this. Elite Dynamics. Elite Dynamics is our trusted partner in the UK for the holiday park industry. And we have been working together now for many years. And Elite is very skilled in implementing our software and in training our joint customers in how to make full use of our solutions. So yes, thanks again. And if you have any questions about the solution, please contact your contact at Elite Dynamics and they will help you, of course. Bye for now.